You are now tuned in to A-Vision Entertainment.
Y'all ready for this?
Welcome, viewers. This is A-Vision Entertainment once again, and we are here with another special show. Right now, we are going to sit back and listen to the man, Mark Green, celebrity talent Mark Green. This man he's been around the world. He knows everyone from, let's say, Freddie Jackson, Melba Moore, Najee, Melissa Morgan. The list goes on and on. As the owner of Celebrity Talent Agency, Adventurous 25 years in the making?
That's correct. 26 now.
26 years in the making.
Yes.
And that's right. And it hails in Hackensack, New Jersey, or that's where you from?
That's where I'm from, Hackensack. And that's where I started the business too.
Oh, you started in Hackensack?
Yes.
That's right close to New York, right? It's not too
4
far.
miles from Harlem.
Okay, yeah, it is. Yep. I want to thank you, man, for coming on to the show, man, and I couldn't wait for this interview to happen. How are you, Mr. Mark Green?
I'm blessed and highly favored.
Oh, that's wonderful. You are the author of the book, The Show Must Go On, Backstage Stories of a Hip Hop Agent. So we're going to get into that. But first, I would like to know, how did you get started in the music industry and what led you to your current role?
Thomas, from a young kid, I had passion. I always had passion for music, like most kids, but mine was just totally directed. There was nothing else I wanted to do in this business.
Yeah.
And, by the time I was in 8th grade, I went to the library and I pulled a book and it had all the different jobs listed in the business. And every job I saw I wanted to do, I wanted to be in that business. So I began my journey there, and that's how I got to where I am now.
Wow. So I know it was a long journey.
Yes.
and I know it wasn't easy, right?
Right.
For the viewers that are watching you, they see your journey, they see the blood, sweat, and tears. But can you explain to them the downside of this business and how many times you have been told no and what motivated you to keep on going?
Yes, I mean, there's been so many downsides, because like anything, you have haters, but not only that, you have people who, it's like the crab in the barrel. They don't want to see you get ahead of them. And you have to really look beyond that. You have to stay focused on what you want to do and try to just keep focused and keep your mouth shut, I learned a good lesson early on, and well, it was too late for me, but, I talk about it in my book that, during my time in the record business, I was so focused on trying to just be in the Black business side of it. And, and what I tell people now that are in the industry is that, you have to make friends with the other parties. You can't just be all Black.
That's right.
You need to make friends with the white counterparts, because what I learned as I left, those were the people that actually gave me the jobs, because after talking with them and realizing and watching, one thing I know is that they only know a few Black people. And the ones they know, they will always keep calling you back for a job. So I did work in the pop department. I befriended a lot of them. And when I wasn't able to get back in the business, those were the people who actually came out and said, listen, don't worry. I know so-and-so, I'm gonna call him. We're gonna get you back in.
Wow, that was amazing. And you have to diversify, basically.
Exactly.
Just make sure, and listen, about our people, man, and I'm just being honest. I don't think you can go very far. And it's a shame it's like that amongst ourselves because it's competition. There's a lot of competition amongst us. And like you said, crabs in the barrel. When you reach the top, somebody pulling you down. They said they doing something to pull you back down. But the great thing about it is you're here, you made it, and you're still going. It's not even over. You're still going, you're still pushing right now.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful thing. So as an internship at Sugarhill Records, can we go back to that and how that started?
Well, it started after I had discovered rapping back in 1977. after being in the battle of the
Wow.
DJs in the Bronx.
Yeah.
A guy named Guy O'Brien, him and I went to high school together. He was a freshman, I was a junior, and we were friends way before this hip hop thing even started. So when I actually brought hip hop to New Jersey and he discovered it, it was later on by the time I, went to college, and he told me he was making a record, and that record was Rapper's Delight. And when I got out of school, the first thing I wanted to do is like, where did you make this record? How, where? And when you talk
Yeah.
about the studio, I was making it my business that I was going to get in that intern. And I spent weeks and
Wow.
weeks sitting in the
Wow.
lobby until I finally got that job.
And it was on from there.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about the emotional side of it. That you thought that this wasn't going to happen for you, and how was that, and how did you handle that when you actually thought, no, this not going to happen for me?
The thing is, I've always been a planner, and I never let, a roadblock stop me from where I wanted to
Okay.
go.
Okay.
And for me, it was just something I always wanted to do. The passion never dissolved in my system. It was
Yeah.
like if something stopped me from doing here, I said, okay, let me work on starting this other job, or let me learn about
That's
this other position. And
mhm.
it helped me along the way, because a lot of my friends that ended up, leaving the business, not because they wanted to, but because they didn't have any other career. For me, I just kept reinventing myself. So when I didn't have a job in sales, I went to marketing. When I didn't have a job in marketing, I went to A&R. I just continued to reinvent myself.
That's right. And then you kept doing it, didn't stop, no matter what roadblocks came your way. It's
No,
like it hurdles. He was jumping over,
yeah, it's like that girl you want to get, you
Yeah,
determine you want to get that girl you want to marry, you're going to do whatever it takes to get her.
that's right.
That's the passion that you have to have in this business.
That's right. You're not going to stop. You're right about that, man. And you definitely inspired a lot of people.
Yes,
You
yes.
have. You have. And also you've worked with Melba Moore, Najee, Melissa Morgan, Freddie Jackson's. Oh, actually, he was on tour. He was a tour manager and later became a roadie for
Mhm.
Eddie Murphy. Can you
Right.
explain what is a roadie? Is it just a road manager also?
No, what a roadie is. Well, I started off, well, let me first give thanks to Melba Moore, because I met Melba Moore in college, and I
Okay.
told her about, I had worked with her like 3 times, and I told her my passion, what I wanted to do, and she saw it, and she said, listen, take my number. When you graduate from school, call me.
Wow.
I did a couple jobs before I actually called her, and when I did, they brought me in. I tried to become a drummer, for Lilo, but I didn't have the talent.
Yeah.
And eventually I took the job as a roadie. So basically, a roadie was the person who set up the equipment, and I knew how to play all the instruments. So I set up the piano, set up the drums, and at the end of the night, pack them up, put them in the bus, and that was it. Lilo actually got the opening act to be on the Eddie Murphy tour. And during that tour, by the second half of the tour, Lilo had left, and Eddie brought on another act. But he asked me and another friend of mine, Bobby Duckett, to stay on to be the production and roadies for that tour, and that's how that came about. Yeah, so I would go on stage, I clean the stage, put the stool there, make sure the equipment was set up for the opening act, and took
Mhm.
it down and packed it up, put it in the bus.
Wow, wow. So you started off, and that was good for you too, right? You had a good time doing that, right? Not
Absolutely. I
knowing,
mean, Eddie
yeah.
was hotter than a stolen car trying to cross the border. And I was starstruck because he had just did Delirious and the first 2 movies, and this movie that just came out was Beverly Hills Cops, and that
Wow.
was just the biggest movie. So being around Eddie, I was just totally starstruck until I was able to
Wow.
get in his camp and feel comfortable.
Wow, that's amazing, man. And you also you left Hush after 2 years and you joined Associate Booking Corp.
Yes. So what happened?
Associated. Yeah.
Yeah. So better known as ABC Booking. So what happened
Okay.
was I was on the road managing a group called the Boogie Boys, and we had just did all the rap shows, the Fresh Fest and everything. And
Oh,
all
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Smart. Do they sing Fly Girl? Or that's not
Fly
them?
Girl, Fly
Okay. Okay.
Girl, yes.
Okay.
We had just finished doing the whole Fresh Fest tour.
Mhm.
And during my whole time there, I was always dealing with the agent. And eventually, I would see him. He always had a suit and a briefcase, and always looked like money. And I said, that's the job I wanted.
That's right.
Eventually, that's how I got to ABC. I finally got there and there was an opening and I took it and I ran with it.
Wow, wow. So that's how it all started with that. And you was responsible. Were you responsible for signing DJ Jazzy, Jeff, Fresh Prince, Salt-N-Pepa, and Kid and Play?
Absolutely. You know, again, because of my relationship on the road, dealing with hip hop, you know, everybody knew me. And hip hop was still new to the people in the music business. Like there were no major signings. I think the Boogie Boys and Curtis Blow were like, and Houdini were the only ones signed to a major label. And
Yeah.
record labels didn't know what to do with it. So when I left and decided to be an agent, everybody came to me because they knew I knew hip hop. They knew me from the road. So
Yeah.
it was easy for me to sign those guys.
Yeah, because right there, you already was connected.
I was already connected, absolutely.
Wow. And you've decided to take your chances as an entrepreneur. Your background is credited as a producer, agent, songwriter, publisher, tour manager, record exec,
And now author.
and now author. So you have all of these titles. How do you manage to work around those different positions and jobs?
Listen, you know, I continue to do a lot of them already. I mean, I still do the management and agent work. I still run the
Yeah,
performing arts theater. I just
yeah.
have the love for this. You know, I could do this all day for free if I
Wow,
could live that way. But it's just
wow.
something that I desire and it's just a passion.
Mhm. Wow. So it's just a passion. Sometimes it just came natural. I mean, because you kept forcing it and you wanted it, you
Yeah,
know?
and I want people to know, like when I talk about my book, The Show Must Go On, you're going to read all these trials and tribulations. You're going to read things that's just so crazy. You're going to wonder how I'm still living today. Because, you know, I came up in the era of the 80s where it was drugs, murder, gangsters, hustlers, pimps, pushers, everybody. If you could think of a throwback of a 70s
That's right. That's right. That's
film
right.
back there, you see everything I'm talking about. But
Well,
I was able to sustain all of that and keep my head straight, you know, and that's the blessing. But I think what people will get out of this when they read the book is that they're going to see not only my passion, but my just resilient to continue to move forward no matter what.
mhm. The show must go on. You are the author. You just talked about the book. What was your inspiration behind writing this book?
Well, you know, for me, um, at the end of the day, you know, I laugh because like to the day before my parents passed away, they never knew what I did. They just said he works in music.
Oh,
I have people would always say, "Oh, he's a promoter," or "He's this and that." Nobody really got my title or what I did right. I've have helped a lot of people. I've helped people get jobs in this business. I've always been humble. I never bragged about who I brought in or what I did for people. But at the end of the day, I wanted my story told because I said, I'm getting ready. I'm getting old. I put 40 years in this business. People still don't know what I did. They don't even know the people or the that I've worked with and the people that I have influenced or helped. And I said, you know, I started off when Master G first decided to really tell my story by saying I was the one who introduced them to rap music. I said, this is it. This is the journey that I want to start with. So a lot of people didn't even know that I've been in hip hop since 1977. A lot of people
wow,
weren't even born
wow.
or even around.
I
So
was
I
born
started,
76.
yeah, so I started my story by telling, you know, how I got into this business and the
Yeah.
reason that I've been able to sustain in this business for so long.
Wow, it's you 1977. So I mean, it's like you was kind of born and raised in this thing. I mean, if you I'm just saying it like
Yeah, if you
uh
look at hip hop started in 1973.
yeah, right. You was raised in this,
Yeah.
you know. Wow, man, wow. And what is your agency's area of specialization within the entertainment industry?
Well, you know, we basically do R&B and hip hop. I've also now branched off to a lot of actors. I've started working with many actors. I'm talking Lorenz Tate, Billy D. Williams, Pam Grier,
Yeah.
Megan Good, Lynn Whitfield. I could go on. I kind of branched out to that, and that's even gave me more pleasure because now I'm working with people I grew up watching on the screen, people that I always enjoyed going to the movies to see. And now I get
Wow,
to be their
wow.
agent. I get to help them make money. I get them to know my name. And that's the
Hmm.
biggest
Hmm.
pleasure for me.
Your first time working with Megan Good, what exactly? I have two questions. What exactly is it that you do with her, and were you nervous when you first got, start working with
Well, it's funny you should say that because I just started working with her, and that was recently, like
her?
three or
Okay.
4 weeks ago, was my
Wow.
first opportunity. I've always been a fan of hers, and really just always wanted to meet her. And one of the presenters of an event that I was doing was looking for someone to present. Every year we had an actor or an actress come there to
Mhm.
kind of tell their story. And I
Yeah.
suggested Megan because I knew a friend of mine who was working with her as a manager, and they liked the idea. And I was so happy and pleased. Everything went great. She was so happy with me that she even mentioned that I was one of the best people she would like working with.
Oh
So
wow.
that gave me
Wow.
pleasure.
Wow. I know it came from Megan Good.
Yes.
Yeah. So how often will you be doing some things with her? Is it movies and setting up interviews and stuff like that? Like what do you?
Well, for her, what I do mostly is I do hosting events, I do appearances. I do that with
Okay.
Lynn Whitfield, Pam Grier, Derek Luke. I'm not their major agent as for producing movies and that, but what I've learned, and Wendy Williams taught me a long time ago. I started with Wendy Williams, and she came to me. She says, "Mark, I need you to do more of this because." The people who handle me, they don't understand I have a black audience. They see
Yeah.
everything white, and I have to, be in touch with my peers. And what I've
Yeah.
learned from doing this is a lot of the white executives and movie people, when you say, "Oh, I have this and that," and it's 20,000, 30, they're not interested because it's not big money. They don't see the
Yeah.
value
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
why this person has to do that. But we as people, we want to be around our people, and they want to be around our people. So
That's
I
right.
became the perfect fit for all these people that I'm talking about because now I put them back in the face of their peers who made them
Mhm.
who they are.
Wow, you have been, like I said, you've been dealing with a lot of celebrities, not only actors, also singers and hip hop artists also.
Yes.
Can you share some of your examples of successful clients you've represented and the types of projects they've been involved in?
Well, one of the projects I like to I take pride in is working with Grandmaster Flash. I first was able to convince him to do a book. It took me 2 years. He didn't want to do it. We did the book deal, and it kind of gave me an idea of how book deals and how everything worked with the book business. The
Mhm.
second thing with Flash was that I got an opportunity to do his first movie deal with Boz Luhrmann, the producer director of Hollywood, and it became a Netflix series called The Get Down. So I
Wow.
negotiated that deal.
Okay.
Also, one of my other clients, Sissy Houston, who I worked with to her death, I was able to, put her in 2 movies and also do a remake of an Elvis Presley record because she used to sing background with Elvis. And a lot of people don't know that she started off as a, background with him. So that was one of the great pleasures I had to be able to, provide those services for them and be a part of it.
Yeah. Wow. And it's a wonderful feeling also.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
know it is. What is one thing your fans will be surprised to know about you?
That I was a rapper.
In the
Nobody, but
70s.
in the
That's right.
70s, nobody believed me. No, I give thanks to Master G because, I used to tell people when I went to college, nobody believed me. Nobody was interested because by then everybody was rapping and DJing.
Yeah.
The other thing is I was a DJ, a popular DJ. I was on TV. A TV show called Soul Alive. Back then in the 70s, the show was like the American Bandstand for blacks. It was,
Oh, okay.
and I was able to be a part of that. So these are some of the things that people don't know that I'm just glad to be able to express and show them.
And here you are. The show must go on.
Yes.
Mark Green, I want to say the talented celebrity Mark Green. Let the viewers know exactly where to get the show must go on. Yeah.
Yes, you can get it on Amazon or Barnes and Noble, or you can go to my website, markmoneygreen.com. And you can find me on Celebrity Talent Inc. Instagram and Celebrity Talent Agency on Facebook.
Viewers, and I'll definitely put everything down so the world can see that.
Yes.
Um, what are you currently looking for and an artist or projects that you're excited about?
You know, everything makes me excited, but I just want to continue to be able to do what I do. I love presenting shows. I love making things happen. I love encouraging and teaching, the ins and outs of this business to not only artists, but even people that are interested. And once I see that you have passion, we're connected for life, because I love what I do.
Wow, wow, wow. That's well said. And I know you, like I said, you started in 1973. So
77.
you 1977, right?
Yes.
You heard, I mean, from that time all the way up to, I'm gonna say the golden era. I say the 80s and the 90s for me is the golden era,
Yes.
right? How do you feel about the music today?
Well, that's a good question. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't either, man.
The
I
thing
don't.
is, I came up in a different era. And even,
Yeah,
my favorite era is the 70s because if you listen to the lyrics and you listen to the songs, they were so creative. They didn't come out and say, I want to F you.
that's right.
They
That's
had
right.
they had ways to present it and it was creative.
Yeah,
They showed you how to, they put words in a song to make you understand and visualize what they were saying.
right.
Everything from going forward to the 90s was too graphic. It's like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
didn't have to visualize anything. It just was all in front in your face.
That's right. And see, back then, I'm only 48,
Hmm.
but I've been around. I love the Whispers, the OJs. I
Right.
love Angela Bofill. I love Shaka Khan. What they did was, even our, the OJs, they kind of caressed you first. They ain't throw
Yes.
you in the
There you
bed. You
go.
know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. So it was like a foreplay. They did that.
There you go. There you go.
You know what I mean? So people now they throwing you in the bed, this and that. You know how it goes. It's
Right.
crazy.
Right.
So when you hear our female rappers today, man, like what are your thoughts on that? And we're talking about the females.
Again, it's the same thing. I like creativity. I don't,
Yeah,
I want to imagine what you're saying. I want to listen to it. I don't want you to just come out and tell me this is what I'm going to do. Show
right.
me, like they say that you want to make love to your woman, but you want to make love to you just don't want to get out there and just do her like that. You want to be
Yeah,
creative in that way. And that's what I like about, the artists from the past.
you're right. And is that you get a feeling the music was different, and you don't feel the music no more. It's just something totally demonic. It's just this is different, man. It,
Yeah,
it's different. And I know we got a short time. I just want to just get just two more in.
sure.
Like I said before, a lot of viewers that are watching, everybody wants to get big overnight. A lot of people they don't want to put in the work, but and
Yeah,
they don't even know how you got here. They don't know
right.
how what I'm doing now. I've been through some things. I did a dialysis, kidney transplant, but I was still pushing. You know,
Yes.
uh, what are your biggest challenges facing the music industry today, and how do you see them being addressed?
The biggest challenge is adjusting to the times. I
Right,
had this conversation with somebody today, where people, after the pandemic, people doubled and tripled their salaries, but they're still doing the same show.
yeah,
The challenge is like I have to work for both the artist and the promoter because both people pay me in a sense. So you try to find a medium in between those two and try to make them understand that, you know what, you can't get 150 for this show, but if you take 100 or you take 75, you can work a little bit more. One of my biggest examples is Howard Hewitt. Howard probably gets less than a lot of artists, but he works all the time. He is probably one of the people that I book the most because he doesn't overprice himself and he puts on a great show. So he's
wow,
constantly being called over and over again.
wow, wow, and he does a good show. I just saw him down Atlantic City. It was at the Circus Maximus.
Right.
This was a couple maybe last year when we
Mhm.
saw him. But he always come down there with platinum production.
Right.
Yeah, yep. And just one more. If you can change anything about the music industry, what would it be?
Um, I would change the way that we handle business now. Again, I just remember, and this was probably about almost 10 years ago. I had an artist I thought was great, and I was shopping around, and when I went to shop it, they was like, well, how many followers do they have? I said, what do you mean?
Wow.
I said, you don't even want to hear this girl? They says, no, I just want to know how many followers they have. I was like, what happened to the creativity? What happened to having the artists and recognizing them for who they are? You're worried about who's following them. Like, how does that really matter? Because you see now there's so many artists that come out the box like left and right, and you can't even keep up. When I came up, you knew who came up, you followed them and everything else. But now most of these people don't know how to play instruments. They don't know how to make beats. They just copy everything that's on site, online, and there's no creativity. There's no longevity. There's no nothing. Every now and then you'll hit a home run with somebody, but for the most part, if you look at how many people are putting stuff out and who actually sticks and stands, it's a big difference.
So talent is out the window. It's about how many people following you.
Yes.
You know how hard that is? Because people don't have 1,000,000 followers or 500,000, but they have talent and they overlook it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Well, viewers, we have Mr. Mark Green. The show, I want to go to the whole the show must go on, backstage stories of a hip hop agent. One more time, can you tell the viewers where to go, where to log on at to get the book?
Absolutely. You go to Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, or you can go to my website, markmoneygreen.com.
markmoneygreen.com. I thank you for being a guest on A-Vision Entertainment. I really do, brother.
Thank you, Thomas. It's been a pleasure. This is Mark Money Green, and you're watching A-Vision Entertainment with my man, Thomas W.